All right, the Bloodline is back. Roman, the Usos, one's in the sky. Roman saying, we are like this, but we're stronger like this. And he's like, Jay, how you gonna let a rapper run his mouth about you? Because if you didn't know, Jay was on a podcast earlier last week, and the guy, the host, a rapper, I assume, was kind of running his mouth, and Jay got into a fight with him. And well, Roman kind of saying, like, when we were running this place, nobody would dare step up like that. And so the Usos fell in line. But that said, we also know who the first challenger is, and it's going to be Jacob Fatu. He comes out, and he stares at Roman, and Roman's like, are you here to acknowledge me? And Jacob's like, no, I don't even want the title. I'm not going to acknowledge you. I don't even want to be tribal chief, but I want your Rolex. I want your jets. I want your money. I want your championship. So now we've got ourselves somebody jumping up from the mid-card to the main event scene to face Roman Reigns at Backlash. And so, like, we're officially in a whole new life cycle of WWE. WrestleMania 42 is in the rearview mirror, and now we're looking ahead, and the future is bright, because tonight's Raw was the Raw after Mania. While I've had seen better Raw after Manias, this one ticked all the boxes. You had returns like the Street Profits. You had people just showing up and announcing themselves as, well, you know, I'm someone to take notice of, Oba Femi. You got people leaving the business, Brock Lesnar, and yeah, and then Liv Morgan just establishing her dominance. She was all over the place. She's feuding with Stephanie Vakir. She's running Judgment Day. She has a music video, Trouble. She's telling Rhea Ripley, reminding her that she's always going to be her Joker to Rhea's Batman. See ya bye as Rhea goes to SmackDown, and then she shows why she's the top female on Raw by beating the top female on NXT. Sol Ruka showed up, and well, this is your one take, one shot Raw review where I do it immediately following Raw. Let's talk about the Raw after Mania. After I talk about the belt on my shoulder, this was the loser bracket title up until Roman took it from CM Punk, and now it is the Tribal Chiefs, and it could be yours. All you got to do is comment below and be a subscriber to the channel. You can win. I'm doing a giveaway on Saturday to celebrate hitting 20,000 subscribers. However, this will also be eligible for the 30,000 subscriber giveaway. So enter now before Saturday by commenting, and you get 2 chances to win belts. It's not a toy, people. It's a replica. All right, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. We open up just like we opened up, I think it was WrestleMania 32, the night after, when Roman Reigns actually, as the big dog, beat Undertaker. He came to the ring, he stood there, everyone booed, and he was like, it's my yard now. Well, today, we had Oba Femi come out. Unlike Roman back in the day, everybody cheered him, and he stood there, and then he said, the ruler has arrived. Or did he say, is here or has arrived? Either way, same concept, and then he left. I wish he would have said more, to be honest with you. I understand what they were doing. I mean, it was just a straight up callback to when Roman did it. So, okay, whatever. I just wish we could have got more Oba Femi. Paul Heyman will acknowledge Brock Lesnar later when he's with the Vision, and he will say that Brock has retired, because I know there's rumors out there that Brock hasn't retired. So I don't know. You know, the fact that Paul Heyman's saying it within a WWE ring, you just don't know. It could be all a work, baby. And whatever the case may be, I'm under the assumption that he really is retired. But it's wrestling, you never know. At this point, you never know if John Cena's even going to come back. Probably not, but you never know. And, but yes, so Brock is gone. They did a tribute to him as well. And I will say that I'm not the biggest Brock Lesnar fan, but I do appreciate what he did for Oba Femi. My hot take video I released earlier today, if you want to see more thoughts on Brock, or if you boys and gals want me to do a history of Brock from my perspective, let me know. I'll tell you all my good memories and bad of the Beast incarnate. I can do a video of that on Thursday or Sunday if I get comments on that. But regardless, Oba comes out and then he leaves Wanted more, didn't get more. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, they put a bow, I guess, on their feud with the Kabuki Warriors. And I understand letting Rhea win because she is now the champion, so you got to make your champion look strong. But I don't know. Rhea's bouncing to SmackDown, and the Kabuki Warriors are staying, and it seems like the Kabuki Warriors have been on the losing end of everything for the past 6 months. So what's Io gonna do when she, is it gonna be that much of a threat when Io starts beating Asuka or feuding with Asuka? Because the Kabuki Warriors has just been owned by them for the last 3 or 4 months, which is a real shame because Asuka and Kyrie were doing some of the best character work last year, and now they're just I don't know. They're just there for Io to have something to do, and no one even thinks that they're gonna win. Even though Kyrie did beat Io last week, it just I don't know. It just feels like it's just a foregone conclusion that Io's gonna mop the floor up with them and get Kyrie away. Where do we go after that? We have Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. So CM Punk comes out and he's like, yeah, I'm 46, I'm old, but I still was champion. That's pretty good. He talks about the passing of some people that were WWE production crew and his dog. So fine, whatever. And then he's like, but you never know when a championship opportunity is going to come up. And then Cody Rhodes comes out. And they continue where they left off on SmackDown, just talking about how great the other person is. And Cody says, man, if you look at me, I look like I'm the loser, but you're the one that's smiling and happy. And CM Punk's like, what, you think I'm a loser? And then CM Punk's like, well, to be fair, I kind of am a loser. And then it was just weird. And CM Punk's, you never know. I just got to be ready for my next championship match. Then he eyeballs the title as if he was Randy Orton a year ago, eyeballing the title. He steps out of the ring, and then Cody says, CM Punk, whenever you're ready, bring it on. And all you got to do is ask, or something like that. He stops, and then they walk away. So I guess CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes is either it's at Backlash, or we're going to draw this out until WrestleMania 45. One of the two. Hopefully not that one, though. Then we go to, oh man, my stupid thing. Then we go to Ethan Page. Ethan Page is called up. So they called up Ethan Page. They told us that Joe Hendry is coming next week, and Sol Ruka. I'm not sure if she's called up or not, but she was on tonight's show too. I think that's why do we just have them appear? Hey guys, I'm now part of the roster. Let's have them make an impact. Have them attack somebody. Have them make an impact and not just, hey, I'm just happy to be here. Regardless, Ethan Page, I really do like Ethan Page. I did not like Ethan Page when he came to WWE NXT, but now I love the guy. He is really good. Questionable, him beating Javon Evans. I did like their feud. They had a really good feud in NXT, and they kind of it was just well, it looks like they're going to be fighting each other. Now, Rusev will cost Javon the match because Javon gave him a super OG cutter at WrestleMania, and then he beats up Javon, Ethan Page gets the pin. I understand, and Javon was protected, and then Rusev continues to beat him down. Penta comes to the save. Ethan Page helps Rusev get the advantage on Penta, and then Ethan Page is like, it's all you, buddy. It's all you, buddy. Actually, I kind of wouldn't mind an Ethan Page-Rusev pairing. I think that would be very good for both of them. Ethan Page is really good at playing off of somebody, whether it's Chelsea Green or Ricky Saints, and Rusev needs something to kind of help him, really reconnect with the audience. So I really hope that Ethan Page and Rusev can actually become a pairing. But Rusev looks like he'll be the next challenger for Penta. And then we do, Liv Morgan comes out to Trouble. The whole Judgment Day come out, and she's like, thank you, Judgment Day, you're great. Thank you, actually, Stephanie, for reminding me who I am. Then Sol Ruka comes out. They kind of get into a verbal confrontation. Adam Pearce comes out and says, hey, let's just have a match. And then they have a match. During this match, it was a fine match, and Sol Ruka did a great job. She did some she is talented, very talented in the ring. She definitely has a connection with the crowd, so I am very excited to see what happens there. But when it's all said and done, Zarya will actually interfere, and those two are having to fight tomorrow at NXT's, like, whatever. But my question is, how did Zarya know that Sol Ruka was going to have a match up against Liv Morgan? How is Zarya just there? Is she following Sol Ruka around? Because Sol Ruka hadn't been called up to the roster yet. So it's kind of weird that Zarya just happened to be at Raw when Sol Ruka happened to be at Raw too, unless she's straight up stalking her. So then Rhea Ripley and Io, holy cow, get a room, you two. They were hugging and they love each other, and she's like, I'll miss you. Like, there's the thing called the phone or FaceTime or anything like that, guys. And so I think Rhea Ripley's gonna miss Io Sky more than she misses Buddy Murphy in AEW, her husband, her actual husband, when she goes to SmackDown. But as she's leaving, Liv Morgan's like, kind of like, well, see you later. Kind of snarky. So that was kind of cool. I like Liv Morgan all over the place. I love the Liv Morgan character. She's really, really good. And also, when Liv Morgan was leaving, Stephanie Vakir got in her face. So it looks like that's going to happen. Again, we have The Vision come out with Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Logan Paul is now the guy that gets booed a lot, and the crowd amps up the more he talks. And yeah, so Paul Heyman talks about how Brock did retire. They bring out Braun Breakker, which then Seth does his sneak attack. I'm kind of over the Seth just comes from behind and hits them with the chair. Like, he's done that like 4 or 5 times in just the last 2 months. It's like, come on, that was like such a cool callback spot from the Shield days, and now it's just overused every other week. He sneaks in from behind with a chair shot. And eventually that will make the Vision attack Seth, which brings out the Street Profits. They all brawl. Montez Ford looking good. I know for a minute it looked like he gained some weight. Bianca Belair was like, sorry, he was eating good while I was home. So it looks like he's back to whatever. And they fight to the outside. So good to see the Street Profits back, but I hope it's not just so we feed them to the Vision and then we take them off TV again for like months, because the Street Profits are awesome. And bonus points, they got their old music back. Love their old music. Hated their new music. Then Braun Breakker gets back in the ring and he's bleeding. I think Seth hit him with the chair in the head. He's bleeding all over the place, but he will beat down Seth and said, I own you now. And then we will have JD McDonagh and Finn Balor are going to have a match. Throughout the night, there was 2 promos, one cut on each of the other. And I really think we should have, drawn this out to Backlash or something, because they just have a match, and there's this really cool tidbit that Michael Cole throws out. He's like, yeah, when JD was 12 years old, he started getting trained by Finn Balor in Ireland. Like, since 12? Like, we should be playing this feud up. This should be like Owen Hart, Bret Hart. I mean, I get it. They're not that high on the card, but I think we could do something with this. I get it. There's still more meat on the bone with Dom, but 12 years old, he's training him at 12. We could have done something. We should have had, maybe Dom should have not shown up on Raw and been scared that the Demon was going to come back. And so JD is fighting Finn until they can be sure that the Demon is not going to reemerge. And there could have been some kind of some kind of stipulation that, JD wins, then the Demon can't come out. And so at Backlash, then Dom could attack Finn Balor to cost him the match. JD gets a win over his mentor, but it's such cheating. But then Finn and Dom can continue their feud, but the Demon can't come out. We could have done something like that, but we just had Dominic there. Dom will attack Finn after Finn just beats JD, and so the feud is continuing, but I think we could have just done more with it. We did have a moment where Gunther is talking about how he wants the world championship, and I'm like, oh, I guess he's going to be the first challenger. That's interesting. But then LA Knight, comes and starts talking trash to him. He's like, I kind of want that championship too. We both won at Mania, so it looks like maybe we go into a program between those guys. I wouldn't mind. I hate that they already had a match during the John Cena retirement tour, but at least maybe we can get a story now, because LA Knight runs his mouth, and the ring general is just, everything's so sacred. So that could be a fun feud. That could actually be pretty fun. And then after that is just the Bloodline. Roman shows up. The Usos are back there. He says hi to them, and he says, yeah, why don't you come out with me? They come out. Things are good. Roman doesn't talk, or not Roman, Jay doesn't talk at all. Even though Roman's like, you're the Eat Man, yeah, man, you're the Eat Man. I just don't think Jay knows how to be both the right-hand man and a fan favorite at the same time, because he's just like locked in as the right-hand man, which is fine. I like the right-hand man better. And then Jacob comes out. And he steps up to Roman. I think that we should lead to, fine, this should just be a callback to how Jay was brought into the fold. And I think that we need to get Roman more on the heel side, though. I don't mind the Bloodline being baby faces for a little bit, because we can get some matchups with Gunther and people we haven't really seen in the past. But the Bloodline, I think, needs to be villains, because I could see, like, Roman might have to, get really tough, show some really tough love and some gaslighting to get Jacob to be what Solo used to be, the enforcer of the group or something like that. Because, how's Roman gonna be like, you stepped up to me? That's the Roman Bloodline character. He's gonna have to force Jacob to acknowledge him. And yeah, so overall, this was a decent Raw. This was a very good Raw. It's just when you stack it up to, like, Raws after Mania from way back in the day, it just doesn't hold up, because, I don't know, it just feels so sanitized and overproduced. But I think that's just the age that we're in. So just for a Raw itself, it was good. I'll give it an 8. But if I were to judge it like a Raw after Mania based from the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression, this probably would be like a 6 or a 7. It's just it didn't feel urgent. I think that was what it is. It just didn't have that sense of urgency. But overall, it ticked all the boxes. So in 2026, this was an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of a Raw. In 2002, this probably would have been a 6, though. All right, boys. All right, girls. Maybe a 7. See you. Bye.